Alright, we are close to the end of Pick 10 Special Edition, where every pick was picked by someone else other than me, except for 2 I picked because I didn't have 5 people to do this with, so just 4 and then me. So, but we are on this pick, which was picked by my son, William. That's his name. That's all you need to know. And, Pixels. Okay, the first one he gave me was Elmo and Grouchline. That was a curveball. This one, this much better. This movie better. Much better. Yeah, get. But yeah, so, yeah. And another lot of hate for this movie when it came out, because people like to hate on Adam Sandler's movies. I've never really seen a movie from Adam Sandler that I thought was terrible. Keep in mind, I still have never seen Jack and Jill, so don't hate at me. I haven't seen a bad Adam Sandler movie because I haven't watched Jack and Jill, which in my opinion would be the only bad one. And I've heard, where were you? I've heard that. That haunts my memory. That haunts my head. Just, yeah. I don't know if I'll ever do that one unless I do terrible movies. But Scotty, don't you have to do it for So Bad It's Good? There's no way that could be a So Bad It's Good movie. There's no way. Anyway, Pixels tells the story of Brenner, played by Adam Sandler, of course. Back in the 80s, he was big shot with the video games when he was a kid. And there was this competition that they do. And he failed, and all these years later, aliens arrive. And in the form of video game characters, such as Mario, that has a brief little cameo in the background of one. He's not one of the main ones, because Nintendo can say, oh, you can have only one. One, like, 5-second spot where he's hopping in the background behind Josh Gad. That's about it. But, yes. And so now, because the aliens, there's only one person that can save us. Adam Sandler. Well, goodbye. We're done. We're done. It's the end. I'm going to prepare to die. I'm just going to play. But, yeah, so let's sit down and we'll talk about it, because I don't think this is a bad one. I've heard people hate on it, and I've heard people say this is one of his worst, and it's terrible. There are some things in this that are a little bit questionable, but you can't really, fault it, because the movie itself tells you, like, about this thing. So, yeah, so we start in 1982. Where we have Brenner and his buddy he calls Chewie. They're at the arcade. They meet someone named the Wonder Kid, Lamonsoft, Ludlow Lamonsoft, what's his name? And he's in this competition, video game competition of 1982, where they are playing video games that came out in 1982, those kind of games back then that were big, which Mario wasn't out yet. And wait a minute. Yeah, Mario didn't come out. Now, don't correct me on this, because Mario was in Donkey Kong. Yes. But the Mario we see in the background is Super Mario. That Mario. Since 1981. Well, I guess in Donkey Kong, but not that. The video game Mario came out in 85 when the NES came out, right? I'm assuming. Anyway, you're bitching and it says on the shirt 1981. But yeah, if you count his appearance in Donkey Kong. The Mario we know and love today didn't, happen until 1985. But I guess that counts. There's other things in there too. But anyway. So the announcer guy, who I think was Fred Willard, I don't remember, but the announcer guy says we're going to send this information of the best video game stuff into space when they're done. And the Fire Blaster, or whatever he's called, Eddie comes in. He's a little person, and he comes in. He's like, "Come on, I'm the guy. I'm the guy," and he wins. He beats Brenner, and then we cut 35. This is 2015, so 33 years later. Cut 33 years later. Brenner is now a installer. Like, I didn't. Do these actually exist? People who will install your TVs for you? I guess they do, but he's a professional installer for TVs, and he goes to this one lady's house. This woman, played by Michelle Monaghan, and meets her son, and apparently, like, she bought him a new TV and video game system as a present because her and her husband are getting divorced. Because he cheated on her with her 28-year-old Pilates instructor. And look, Michelle Monaghan, very lovely woman, very good looking woman. I don't know who would cheat on her. I don't know. People sometimes, cheaters, they don't have good minds. But he's there to help put it together, and then he talks to her and misinterprets that. Look, this whole scene where he's talking to her is good until they decide to do Adam Sandler comedy where he goes to try to kiss her and it's like, hey, no. It's like, no, you didn't need, that kind of ruins it there. But we also see his friend Chewie grew up to be the president of the United States, and that's not believable. What, Kevin James is the president? No, a president under 65 years old. That's not believable. Come on. Adam Sandler even said it in when he was Upperman again. Here we go again, 70-year-old man. Why can't we have, why does every president have to be an old dude? They've been old dudes. I don't know how Washington was, but they've been old dudes for as long as I've been alive, at least. I mean, Bill Clinton was probably the youngest. He was in his 40s at the time, I think. 40s, 50s. I think he was the youngest since I've been around. But maybe that's why they only hire people over 70. And we need people who can't get it up so that they don't cheat on their wife. Anyway, Kevin James is the president, Chewie, and he's friends with Brenner, And so, as he's leaving the house after he gets everything installed, he gets a call from Chewie to come help him, and she's also in the military. So she's a colonel in the military, and they both drive to the same place. And he gets up to the gate, and he's like, hey, this woman's been following me. I think she's a stalker. I think she's trying to kill the president. And she's with, DARPA or whatever it was. And, yeah, so they're both, you gotta go in the meeting room, and he gets to go to the Oval Office, but just, huh? And it's aliens invading, and they realize the pattern is that of Galaga. The games in here, that of Galaga, which I played a little bit when I was younger. I had the Namco Museum, which I was going to show you people, but I forgot. But yeah. And the whole thing with Brenner is he knows how to look at the patterns and figure out how to do it. So, yeah. Galaga, and that was the first, I think that they said that was the first game and humanity lost, but you just attacked random place in India, I think it was. Okay. So then they have a challenge. As he goes to leave, he finds Ludlow, played by Josh Gad, in the back of his car, and it's really weird. You see, butt crack. And he was going to chloroform him, but he's he's a conspiracy theorist. Ludlow, it is you. And so they devise that they have to do something. They have So they're brought in to train the military people how to take down these monsters. Train them how to play the video games to take down the monsters. The aliens. Whatever. And of course, they're not as seasoned as these. So according to Adam Sandler's writing here, or whoever wrote this, the military can't do shit. and it's up to a couple schlubs, to save the world. Again, I'm packing my bags, head for the bastard border. The end is nigh, the end is nigh. Get out of the way, the end is nigh. But, yeah. So, so yeah, there's definitely a romance thing between Michelle Monaghan's character and Adam Sandler, because of course you gotta have these. But Adam Sandler's wife isn't a lot of his movies. It's just like a background character. She has a couple lines in this. Jackie Sandler. If you know who she is, you'll know. You know what she looks like. She's her, but she has a couple lines. So they realize that they're gonna need more help than just them after there's an attack in London, and you get a cameo from Sean Bean, and I think it was a waste to not have him die, because it's Sean Bean, and it's a comedy movie. Just have him die. But they are playing Centipede, which is another game I played when I was little on the computer. And no surprise here, the military people can't do it because they don't know how to understand the patterns. They've been trained, but they don't know. So Brenner takes one of the things to start shooting it. And then Ludlow realizes he has to do it, so they both do it. And they save the day, basically. So they lost one, the India one, and they won one. And it seems like they're taking souvenirs from each one, because they take the little Indian boy, teenager, whatever, from that one, from the India one. Then they take Avion Crockett, and that's another unbelievable thing. Avion Crockett in the military. Just saying, take Avion Crockett, and then they take another one. Because they win, they get a prize, and it's but he gets dropped down at some old lady's house, and it's the dog from Doug Huntley. You know. And so, which, by the way, wasn't 1982. I feel like, because that was in a pack. It might have been before, I don't know, but that was in a double pack that I had with Mario there. I don't know. If everything was set up in 1982, why do they have knowledge of video games from after that? Were they watching us for the entire thing? Why isn't that like a giant halo? You know? I would love it if there's a sequel to Pixels where there's a bunch of Sony video game characters that are PlayStation stuff. Like you get the guy from Medieval, and you get the Tekken guys, and you get Nathan Drake, and have it be Tom Holland. I don't know. Or give this to Dream Nathan Drake and make it be Nathan Fillion. Who knows? Do they look like humans? Just hold on. So now it's time to get back up. And so they get Eddie, who's in prison. No surprise. Eddie played now by Peter Dinklage. And he's one of the better characters in the film. And it's time for Pac-Man. But there are 4 ghosts. They're going to be the ghosts in these little Priuses or whatever they are. But there's 4 ghosts. So who's the 4th one? You got Eddie, you got Ludlow, and you got Brenner. Who's the 4th? The creator, whose name is in Japanese, I don't remember. But the creator of Pac-Man, played by a different actor. Although the creator of Pac-Man does have a cameo somewhere in here, but I don't know. But yeah, the creator of Pac-Man, who does fuck all for this. He does nothing. They get up there to where Pac-Man is, and he gives out and he goes, I have created him for good. He's not bad. And then Pac-Man, kill that son of a bitch. So yeah, and then see later, he actually lost a hand, but it's really weird, just his hand. He's alive later, but you know. So we're down to 3. Brenner, Ludlow, and Eddie. Driving the little Prius ghosts. And we're shown that Eddie gets really fast. He can get from one place to another very fast. Obviously, he's cheating. As we find out later, it's true. But they were able to dispose of Pac-Man. Brenner is the only one left because Ludlow's they get the power pellets. So Ludlow's vehicle gets chewed and they just leave him. Eddie is forced to jump into a lake, and so it's up to Brenner, who, you have 10 seconds where the thing happens. So he counts to 10, and he goes backwards, and then just as he falls out of the building, Pac-Man grabs him, and he dies because Pac-Man dies because they ran out. So, yeah. And so they won. They're celebrating, and their trophy for winning is Q*bert, which plays into later. But their victory, they won, and the kid's like, "Hey, why don't you ask my mom out?" Because that's the son of Michelle Monaghan's character. And I can't remember it. So he does, and they go to the ball together, this dance thing they're having. And I like how Kevin James comes out as the president, and they're playing the he starts going, tell his wife, say, hey, that's enough. By the way, his wife is played by Jane Krakowski. I believe her as president before I would Kevin James, but I'm just saying. Yeah. So they're at this dance, but the aliens, who take the form of, like, when they inform them of their next, that, hey, we have 1-1, you have 1-1, if you don't win the next one, we win. But they inform them as Mr. Rourke and Tattoo from Fantasy Island. Good impersonations, too. Both actors are dead, of course. I think Ricardo Montalban is dead at this point. Maybe not. 2015? I don't know. But, yeah. And then here they interrupt and say there's cheaters, but they're Hall & Oates. So they cheated, and Eddie's like, oh, I gotta get out of here. And that's when the kid says, hey, they fished your glasses out of the lake. And there's writing on it. Not if they fell in the lake, there's not. They got wet. And this is permanent marker, but then again, why would you? I don't know. And they're not traditional sunglasses like these that cover up everything. They're the ones with the big frames that are like only tinted. They're not like completely like this. They're just a little bit tinted. They'd be able to see the writing from the outside. It doesn't make much sense. So Eddie leaves. By the way, Josh Gad, before this whole thing goes down, Josh Gad is singing on cover of Everyone Wants to Rule the World. And this is where, okay, it's funny. He's that guy singing a song. But then he just starts humping the ground. And the look on Brian Cox's face. Brian Cox plays this no-nonsense general who just doesn't like Brenner, doesn't like anything they're doing, and thinks it has to be done the military way. And he's against Brenner the entire time. And then when this happens, he's like, you messed up. Shouldn't have listened to you. Well, you would have lost even worse if you hadn't trusted them. So, no, it wasn't the wrong decision. But anyway, during this, when he's like up on the floor, Brian Cox is just like, I don't even know if that was acting. He's had enough. You can tell he's had enough. But, yeah. So Eddie's gone, and we're left with the three. The president is being moved to a bunker because there's a big invasion now, and you got a bunch of video game, background stuff. Mario popping up, Froggers, the bubble pop thing. Maybe there's a Dig Dug in there. There's a bunch of 80s games. Galaga, Galaxian, bunch of stuff in there. And there's like little ninjas and stuff, and yeah. So Brenner, it's up to Brenner, Michelle Monaghan, and Ludlow to save the day because Eddie's gone, the president's gone. But the president shows up in one of the suits. He's gonna help too, and they have the blasters. And yeah, so they're basically taking down these creatures. Then I should mention, they took the kid. The aliens took the kid because after he confronts Eddie, aliens show up, take him. But I think it's their souvenir from New York, I guess. So, I forgot, very importantly, it's up to Brenner, Eddie, not Eddie, Brenner, Ludlow, President, Michelle Monaghan, and Q*bert, who was also there to save the day. So that's 5, 4.5, 4.25, I don't know. But yeah. And so, President Brenner and Michelle Monaghan are going to go up to space, leaving Ludlow behind to fight off things down there, which lead to the ninjas, and then video game version of Amber Benson shows up. Ninja Lady, like Lady Lisa or something. I'm not sure what video game that's from. You know what would have been cool? I don't know if it was out yet though. They should it should have been like the mid 80s for this. Simon from Castlevania. That would have been cool. Simon Belmont. Simon Belmont from Castlevania would have been cool to show up. But no, you have Lady Lisa from some game, I don't know. And this is where it gets kind of like, okay. Apparently Ludlow's had a thing for her. I think they show a picture earlier. He's like, I have loved you. If you're going to kill me. But at least I'll die knowing I found love. And instantly, she's fallen in love with him and now is turned against the aliens and is helping him. And Eddie shows up. By the way, Eddie, I should mention Eddie. To get him to do this, he had to do some agreements. He wanted a stealth jet. No. He wanted his own island. I don't think he gets that either, but he wanted to not pay taxes. And Kevin James is like, well, no one wants your taxes anyway. I'm like, what? No, and you're required to pay taxes. He doesn't even want like income tax. He doesn't even want he doesn't want to even have to pay tax on a pack of gum. And he wants a threesome with Serena Williams and Martha Stewart. He gets, he said, I can arrange a coffee with Serena Williams. Apparently, Serena Williams gets her own island to go to the dance ball thing with Eddie. Yeah. I do like when he comes out, the kid's like, where you going, Eddie? Oh, gotta get some time away. Serena Williams is all Mrs. Fire Blaster this, Mrs. Fire Blaster that. I like Pete Dingles in this. He's funny. But yeah, so Eddie's back and he's gonna help Ludlow take down stuff down there, but it gets to be too much. Meanwhile, up on the ship, the big boss wants to see him. And wouldn't you know it, the big boss is Donkey Kong. So they gotta play Donkey Kong to save the world. I just said that sentence. Donkey Kong to save the world. But yeah, Donkey Kong. So, yes. Donkey Kong it is. And it's the Donkey Kong, not Donkey Kong Country. It's the one where you gotta jump the barrels and you gotta make it all the way up. I was never good at that game. We got it on the Atari, I think, and I was never good at that game at all. But there, of course, because this is the way it is. By the way, they get there. And like, Mom, don't worry, we're here to rescue you. And Avian Clark goes, where the hell's my mama? Oh, I laughed. But yeah. So they save the day, basically. They go up there. Brenner's the last one left, basically, because they're all kind of behind. And he's able to defeat Donkey Kong to save the day. But, unfortunately for Ludlow, when all the aliens dissipate, so does Lady Lisa. Q*bert stays behind because he's a trophy, I guess, which technically they deserve another trophy for doing that, but I don't know. But Ludlow is sad. As they're all celebrating, he's sad because Lady Lisa's gone. And then Q*bert turns into Lady Lisa, and her and Josh Gad start making out. And credit to Adam Sandler, he's saying what we're all saying. Hey, isn't that kind of weird that she was just Q*bert? Yes, it is weird. And yeah, and then Brenner gets to kiss Michelle Monaghan, whatever. Movie ends. Oh wait, no, it doesn't end because you get the pixels and then game over, and then it says, I don't know. It says like a few months later, sometime later, I don't remember. There are baby Q*berts, which would have to be at least like 9 months. Maybe a year later. I don't know. Baby Q*bert. So, yeah, Josh Gad had sex with Q*bert. don't want to think about that. But I'm gonna give this movie a pretty good. I enjoyed this movie. I don't know, but there's haters out there who hate on Adam Sandler stuff, and I haven't seen a lot of Netflix stuff, and I haven't seen Jack and Jill. I know that's been terrible, and I've watched people's reviews about it. I know what's in it, but I'm never gonna. I don't know if I will sit through it. Maybe I have to do an Adam Sandler thong or something. I don't know. But yeah. So what are your thoughts on Pixels? Then it'll come slow. You like, share, and subscribe. I don't need to do anything because we have one left. Law-abiding citizen. Not sure if I'll get it done today. I want to get it done sometime this week. And because I wanted to start recording for December, but I can't really do that because I have some other things. Movies from this year. I have 2 movies from this year yet to do, and 3 actually, because I have to do Nope off of Peacock. So I don't know. So thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.